Hi everyone, this is Robin with Metropolitan Counseling and Consulting. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the concept of trauma healing as a whole person experience. This is a major part of my practice here, and so I wanted to explain a little bit more detail to you what that means for me and how that shows up in your trauma healing journey here. So the concept of healing is a whole person experience basically means that your whole person shows up and that your whole person is respected and your whole person is able to experience healing. Sometimes that means that we engage in typical talk therapy techniques and we're more addressing some of your cognitive processes, some thoughts that you're having, maybe flashbacks, and we'll process things that way. Other times that means that we'll get outside, we'll get connected to nature. That can be a really healing, cathartic, spiritual experience for a lot of people. And so I want to honor and respect the spiritual part of your person by connecting outside. That can also mean that I can refer you to a trauma-informed yoga instructor who is able to also bring some healing to your body, and we will also do some of those techniques in the office if that is what you need and want. Also, we can do a lot of expressive therapies such as art, movement, dance, writing. A lot of that accesses the deeper part of our spirit and our heart that sometimes words really can't get to, or spoken words. So poetry can be really healing as well because you're able to get a lot out expressively and creatively without having to engage in like a logical thought process. Another part of the whole person experience means that we will dedicate a lot of time to following where your heart and your soul really come into things and where you might feel stuck in your energy centers and how we can move through those energy blocks effectively as well. So the reasoning and rationale behind this concept is that trauma affects your whole person. So while we know there's a lot of research to back up how trauma affects our psychological functioning, maybe our cognitive functions, in terms of being able to process memory and process a lot of higher cognitive skills, especially if there has been a long history of trauma in your life, maybe stemming from childhood all the way through adulthood, or a really severely scary traumatic event in your adulthood. So we know the psychological impacts, and we're also getting a lot of new information on the impacts of the body and a lot of studies coming out of long-term health projections for someone who has endured a lot of trauma in their life, how that can affect cardiovascular health, the nervous system, hormones, even a lot of bone health. So as you can see, trauma really affects our whole person, not just our minds or our emotions, but also our bodies. Trauma also affects our relationships, so how we relate to others, form trust, boundaries. Boundaries can be completely obliterated in a lot of relationship trauma circumstances. So we'll do a lot of work there with relationships and social skills and stuff like that, because a lot of times when the healing process is in a really good groove, we realize that there are a lot of ways that you can kind of undo some ways of relating with others, and some boundary patterns and stuff like that can really, when you clear those up, you can really find a lot of freedom and healing there so that you can begin to trust yourself and to trust others and the world in which you live. So I really hope that that explains a little bit about what I believe trauma healing as a whole person process means and how that might resonate with you. So I encourage you to please reach out to me and let me know if there is something that really resonated with you about the concept of trauma healing as a whole person process, and maybe suggestions for ways that you might be able to incorporate some holistic interventions in your life and in your trauma healing journey to make it more satisfying and sustainable and holistic and really effective for you. Thanks for listening and watching, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.